Did you know that from 2017 to 2020, WagerTalk charged $795 for a season of either college football or NFL? Well, we know how important our season-long customers are, and we want to increase the amount of money you save by committing a season-long package. While most of our competitors continue to raise their prices, we are doing the exact opposite. We've lowered our price for both the NFL season and the college football season to only $5.99 each. But through Sunday, August 14th, we are offering an early bird special, saving you an additional $100, making your NFL or college football season only $4.99. That's under $23 per week. Make sure to take advantage of the early bird prices before midnight, Sunday, August 14th, as they will return to the still low price of $5.99 per sport per season. You know the NFL preseason is already underway, and the college football season kicks off Saturday, August 27th. There is no coupon needed and no limit to the number of packages you can buy. Just head to your favorite handicappers page and take advantage today.
Did you miss us yesterday? A little Tuesday edition of Asian Baseball Today. I'm Dan Alexander, and bringing the boys here in just a few moments. Like, we changed the show because of the impending weather, the day off that they had, and now Mother Nature's basically like flipping us the bird and saying, oh, you guys wanted to still talk some games? Well, they're probably all going to be rained out. I got Adam Trigger, I got Tokyo Brandon with me, and whether or not the games are happening, these guys are handicapping them. Trig, I'm going to start with you, brother. What do you have up, man, and how you been?
Been good. I, had a loser last night in MLB, but up until then, I think I had like 5 in a row. I had a 4-0 sweep on Sunday, hit all 3 of my KBO plays and my MLB plays. So, baseball's been treating me well this year. It's still rolling. And tonight I'm going with 3 MLB plays. So I have 3 4% plays in Major League Baseball. Just 3 games I like so much that I couldn't possibly leave one off. And I put them up all in the same package. So it's a 3-for-1 Major League Baseball tonight. It's on my page now. Like you said, Dan, we're going to be fortunate to get any of these games in tomorrow, in my opinion. So I'm going to give out my 4%er for KBO for free. That way, if it, hopefully it gets played, it doesn't cost you anything, and when we just move on. So that'll be at the end of the show. And I think we still have a lot to talk about, even with the rain.
3-for-1, 4% package up right now for our guy, Adam Trigger. Tokyo Brandon, how are you doing? The number 1 handicapper at WagerTalk in the last 365 days. So I know you're always excited when it is Asian baseball time. What's going on, Brandon? And you have anything up, hopefully, that won't be rained out?
I certainly do. I've got a 5% play in Japanese baseball. It's a first 5 money line. It will not be rained out because in Japan it's bright, sunny, hot as hell. It's nice weather here, even though Korea's only 2.5 hours up from here. They're getting torrential rains. It's raining men. Hallelujah. But that's in Korea. Down here in Japan, it's nice and sunny, and this will not be rained out, my 5% play. A little ticked off my 5% yesterday. I had a 3-0 lead going into the 9th. My team was a minus 1,300 favorite going into the 9th in live betting, and they give up a 3-run walk-off home run to lose my 5% play. But today, we're going to bounce back. I've got a first 5 money line in Japanese baseball. It will not be rained out.
There you go. Some big ticket plays up for the boys tonight, and a guaranteed will not be rained out special by Tokyo Brandon. We don't know if it'll win quite yet, but we know the game will at least be played. So you can go on over and grab those now. Guys, let's get into our standings update so we can get rolling. We won't get rained out here on the show today. My SSG Landers have the 8-game stranglehold on top of LG, though they're surging. They're putting a little distance between Kiwoom as their 2 wins up, or I guess should say 2 losses up there in the department, that 38-40. But KT, they're still staying interesting. And then, on the rest of the way down, you kind of got the best of the rest there. Still Hanwha sitting at the bottom of the division. But how about the NC Dinos climbing out of the basement? If you've been following along to the show, Trig's been telling you, don't sleep on the Dinos, and they're all the way up to 7 after spending the better portion of the season all the way down at 10. But Hanwha, I mean, shoo, they can't figure it out even a little bit. Adam, I want to start with you because, we kind of joked about the potential weather that's going to be in the system. So we always turn to you, our resident weatherman here. But if games are played tomorrow morning, you seeing any injuries or any roster moves that people should be aware of? But, of course, the headline is that rain that's rolling through Korea.
Well, Dan, theoretically, we should get at least one game tomorrow, right? Because one of the games is being played in a dome. So that shouldn't get rained out. The problem is there's so much flooding around the capital of Korea, Seoul, that I'm curious if they can actually, get to the stadium to play the game. So that's Lotte Kaiwoom. That's going to be at the Gocheck Sky Dome. So as long as they can get there, that game should be played as long as they can actually get there. But if you've seen some of the pictures of Seoul, South Korea, I mean, there is like parts that are entirely underwater. And I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen for some of the games in and around the capital tomorrow. You're looking at Doosan NC across town at Jamsil Baseball Stadium, almost guaranteed to be rained out. KT SSG, Incheon is down it's not that far from Seoul. They look like they're going to get a ton of rain. And LG Hanwha, my weather app said 100% chance of rain for like the next 3 days. So we'll see if any of those get in. But it looks like Kia and Samsung's probably about a 50-50 chance to get in. And I'll tell you, I'm going to make a general statement. The rain is going to happen. It looks like the next 3-4 days they're going to get slammed. So I think this is going to help the teams that can hit but struggle pit. Like if teams that can hit but have a hard time winning because they don't have pitching depth, it shouldn't matter this week because they're not going to need all those arms. There's no way that any of these teams are going to get their maximum amount of games in. And of course, we're coming to you today because the league had an extra off day yesterday. So, teams that have good offensive numbers, I wouldn't worry too much about bad bullpens and stuff like that this week or back end starters because you're probably not going to see those guys. As far as injury news, NC just gets another brutal blow. If you guys remember last week, we mentioned Wes Parsons was cut because he was hurt. So NC is going to need to go out and try to find another import starter. And now Chang Mo-koo hits the IL. And in my opinion, that's just a crippling blow for the NC Dinos who, I just don't see how they can get it done without those two pitchers. You've got Drew Rucinski, and then the other 3 starters on that team, not very good. So it's going to be a big-time issue with them going forward. Lotte gets Dan Straley back from America. Remember, he was on the Lotte Giants in 2020, had a great season. In 2021, not so great of a season. But beware there. He's been getting pounded in AAA. I mean, this guy has been getting hammered in AAA, 6.35 ERA, 1.49 whip in AAA this year. And he's going to start tomorrow at the Gocheck Sky Dome against Kiwoom. And remember, for Lotte, they still are without some guys who had COVID last week and have to spend the 7 days on the COVID IL. So if you watched any of Lotte over the weekend, they got demolished back-to-back games without a bunch of their guys. And I believe that those guys are still going to miss this game. So Kaiwu minus 170, if it gets played, might be a cheap one there for you. But that's what I'm looking at as far as injury and weather as we try to navigate a rainy rest of the week in Korea.
Nice update there at the top from Trig. And yeah, the if it gets played will probably be the phrase of the show here. As I was just, as you were talking, looking at the weather. It is not being overstated a little bit by our guy Trig there. Well, Brandon, you want to continue with the How the Sausage is Made series that you've been putting out on how you arrived to some of these handicaps. This time you wanted to take a look on how teams are faring, the road versus kind of home dichotomy, the split, so to speak. So floor is yours to fill us in on how you arrive at some of these numbers.
I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind. That's the last time.
Oh, they
That's the
actually
last
like
time I'll
that
be able
one.
to sing that. All right. That's the last time I'll be able to sing that song this season with Will Parsons and our Alan Parsons project, a reference not being able to be used for the rest of the season. Speaking of how the sausage is made, how are those cookies made, Dan? Check out Dan's Twitter. Oh my God. Delicious looking cookies on there. Holy cow. You'll have to tell us how those are made pretty soon. So, yeah, today I want to get into home and away splits. I've put this up I think every 2 weeks or so. If the graphic people can throw that up, it would be great. Um, there you go. I'm not barking at anyone. So
Polite that
we
time,
still
yeah.
only, yeah. We still only got 3 teams that are considered normal, and that would be SSG, NC, and Hamla. And when I say normal, I mean they win at home and lose on the road. But if you look at the home advantage column there, a lot of those are like -1, -2, so it's really negligible. The only real ones that stick out are LG at home have a huge disadvantage, and Samsung at home really have a big disadvantage. But besides that, the teams are starting to get back to normal. Actually, I update this every day or every week. And last week there was one more team, I think it was Kiwoom, which went into the normal category, but then they slipped back out of the normal category. So we're starting to get teams to be a little bit more normal. This week is a real strange week because Korea is just under torrential rain, which I don't understand because here in Japan it's really sunny. I guess here in Japan we're getting the outskirts of the storm, so it's really nice and calm weather here. But it's like hot and 95 here in Japan. It's really humid, so balls are gonna fly here tonight. And I'll preview a series, and I have a best bet coming up that are both Japanese games, and yeah, probably gonna be talking about overs.
Man, between balls are going to fly and you singing It's Raining Men at the top of the show, I know our guy Chris is going to be able to put together quite the montage for you coming up at our meet and greet, which is
No
just
editing.
10 days away, guys. We're all going to be in Vegas. This whole crew is going to be there. Joe Ranieri, who you see on shows, is going to be there. Going to be a great whole lineup. Kelly in Vegas going to be out there. So it's going to be a fun time. So you can still get your rooms now. You may have to pay a little bit extra, but could be worth it to get out to Vegas for that meet and greet coming up in just a few weeks' time. So, guys, let's get into our featured game. Might be the only one that does go tomorrow. We're looking at the Kia Tigers taking on the Samsung Lions. And Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to give you first crack at. You see any actionable info in this one, or it's kind of a small card that we're looking at? So, how are you attacking it?
It's a small card, and this is a tough one because we got Pannone going against Suarez. These are two really good starting pitchers. Pannone in his last 3 games, 2 runs, 1 run, 2 runs. He's got a great K rate. Albert Suarez, he's 2 earned, 3 earned, 0.03. So, I mean, we got 2 really good pitchers, but Kia, in the first 5, they've been really cold in the last week or so. Kia's been quite cold. So if I was going to go anyway, I might take an under on this since there's been a lot of rest. And like Adam was talking about earlier, the bullpens are all rested. I'm not really thrilled about either one of these bullpens, especially Samsung's. They're really bad. So maybe a first 5 under in this, or even maybe a Kia team total under, because I really like Albert Suarez. Albert Suarez pitched for Yakult in Japan last year before he went to Korea, and he was really bad out here. He had like a 5+ ERA, really bad in Japan. But since he's gone to Korea, he's been really good. He's got a 1.18 WHIP. And he's got a 2.45 ERA. I mean, he's been really good, and recent form, he's been really good as well. So if I was going to do anything, I would take an under in this, since it's Wednesday, but it's considered a Tuesday. The teams are all rested, and the bullpens are all rested. So I would take a Kia team total under, or even a game total under in this one.
Adam, sounds like Brandon thinking it could set up for an under game. You see in this Kia Samsung matchup game 1 a similar way, or how are you attacking it?
No, not really. I don't have any real opinion on the total. Kia has one of the best offenses in the league. Socrates Brito back last week, so their offense should be fine. And even though the bullpens are rested, Samsung's bullpen is far and away the worst. The one guy that can actually pitch in that bullpen, Sangwon Oh, is having like the worst season of his professional career. So I'm not sure I want to. Suarez is good, but here's the way I'm looking at the first game. So you've got Pannone for Kia, who's their new import guy, as Brandon said. He's been good. Albert Suarez is. I'll even if we say that those two cancel out. Let's just say that Pannone and Suarez cancel out. Kia has so many more advantages in this game than Samsung does. I have Samsung rated dead last. They're behind Hanwha for me. This is the worst team in the league going forward. Remember, David Buchanan has been out. So you essentially have it's Suarez and Taewon In. Taein Wan. I always mix his name up. Who's going to pitch tomorrow, which I'll get to more in a second. But outside of those two, they essentially have bullpen guys just filling the starting spots, and those guys filling the starting spots are not very good either. So I'm pretty much willing to take on Albert Suarez here in this first game because I know that whoever comes in behind him is not close to as good as what Kia is going to have stacked up. And the reason why, Dan, is they have to be planning to not play all 5 games this week. And I think if they look at the weather and say, you know what, there's no way we're going to play 5 games this week with this forecast coming up because Guangzhou over the weekend should be another downpour. I think Kia can do a little bit of an all hands on deck thing here where they piggyback Pannone with, they could go Gi-young Im. They could use Yang in relief if they want to because they know that they're not going to get 5 games in. And I think I'm going to take I might play a hunch that Kia just might do that. And if they do, I think that they become far and away the stronger team here. So I would look to Kia minus 105. I think that's a ridiculous number as it is, because Kia is just a significantly better team, better lineup. If the starting pitching cancels out, a rested Kia bullpen is much better than a rested Samsung bullpen. So Kia minus 105 in the first in tomorrow's game is a no-brainer for me. And I have opinions on the rest of the series, which I'll get to in a minute.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm wondering. So it kind of shakes out potentially Kia, a really good spot for them. And if they're potentially able to roll these arms out, very advantageous. So how do you see that kind of affecting them moving forward in this series, given that all games, likely should be or hopefully will be played? How else would you bet this series outside of, rolling with Kia in game 1?
Well, Dan, I'm just going to look to bet on Kia as many times as I possibly can in this series. And here's
broke, don't fix it.
The only reason I wouldn't is if somehow all 3 of these games get played. Because if you look at the forecast, so remember, no one played yesterday. That means every team's had 2 full days off, and you don't need a double starter this week. And that's one thing. Kia, even though their bullpen's banged up, they have all their starters back. So it's going to be Pannone on Wednesday. If all the games were going to get played, it'd be Pannone Wednesday, Yang on Thursday, Yuli Lee Friday, Gi-young Im Saturday, Sean Nolan Sunday. And if you look at the forecast, you can just about guarantee that all 5 of those games are not going to get played. So if you're, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out. If you're Kia's coach, you got to be looking and saying, you know what? We don't need to go to our bullpen guys who are struggling, because maybe we just go with Yuli Lee because we know, otherwise they're not going to pitch this week. So I think it's going to be an all hands on deck, like almost like a playoff type mentality for Kia, who really does need to win these games. And I think you're going to see them piggyback Pannone here with another starter if it comes to that, if they have to. Now, they might not do it on Wednesday because they have all their bullpen arms, but maybe they do it on Thursday, knowing that one of those games is going to get rained out this weekend. I just think this situation makes Kia so much stronger than the market is sort of suggesting, because if you look at the other side, you might be saying, Dan, well, why can't Samsung do the same thing? And that's because Samsung just doesn't have starting pitching right now. David Buchanan on the IL. So it's really Suarez It's really Suarez, Tay, and Juan. And then Samsung's essentially got three guys that should be in the bullpen anyway, starting games. Dong Jae Hwang, not very good. Young Dung Ho, not very good. And then Pil Jun Jang, all guys that should probably be in the bullpen anyway. These are guys starting games for Samsung right now. So, in my opinion, with the impending rain and Kia knowing that they're probably not going to play 5 games this week, I think they're going to use their starters in relief. And I think it gives Kia the far superior offensive team, one of the best offensive teams in the league, and now back to full strength with Socrates Brito back in the lineup, a massive advantage in this series. So Kia Tigers. You might not get any Kia Tigers because the whole thing might get rained out. But if they play these games, I think Kia's going to win as many as they play.
Man, that's as excited I think I've seen Trigger get over a side. He's loving Kia, all keyed up as they're taking on Samsung. The fans going nuts. So, Brandon, I want to swing it your way. You were talking about how weather's doing fine where you're at. So let's talk a little bit of Japanese baseball here. And you want to take a look at Prez's favorite team. It's the Yakult Swallows. They're taking on the Hiroshima Carp. How are you breaking down this series, Brandon?
Yeah, Adam, getting excited over there. All right.
I love it.
I'll be seeing you guys next. Let's get excited together next week. I'll be out there and we can all have some drinks together. So yeah, this is Prez's favorite team. No adult film references, please. The Yakult Swallows are taking on the Hiroshima Carp. Carp versus birds versus fish. So yeah, these are two of the top hitting teams in the league, and neither team has a really good bullpen. I have these lineups ranked number 1 and number 3, and I have these bullpens. This is out of 12 teams in Japanese baseball. I have the bullpens ranked 6 and 9. So bad bullpens and great lineups. The problem is the Yakult Swallows, they had a virus outbreak before the All-Star game. They got their players back, but they're still hitting a little cold. Cold for the Yakult Swallows, though, is anything under 4 runs a game, because they have serious power hitters. They have Santana, they have Murakami, they have Yamada. They have a lot of power. The Hiroshima Carp also have a lot of power. So I have these teams, even with just average pitching, I have these teams coming together to score 9 runs a game. Today and tomorrow, I don't see average pitching. I see poor pitching. So in this series, I would definitely bet overs. And if you see team totals, I would go over 3.5 for either one of these teams. But I would go over 3.5, especially for Hiroshima, for the Carp, because they're just hitting better than Yakult right now. And despite their bullpen being worse than Yakult's, I still see them hitting a little bit better right now. So any game totals 7.5, definitely bet the over. Any team totals 3.5, I would definitely bet the over on that as well. We only have 2 more games in this series because yesterday's game's already been played, because our show.
Hello.
We'll be right back. Get the final thoughts there from Tokyo Brandon. But what I'd like to ask you to do while we're waiting for Brandon to hop on back in here, head on over to WagerTalk.com, because these guys, their best bets are coming up here in just a few moments. They're going to rehash some things you may have already heard on the show. So, do yourself a little bit of a favor. Head on over to WagerTalk.com. That's WT.buzz/TB for Tokyo Brandon, WT.buzz/AT for my man Adam Trigger. Trig's got a 3-for-1, 4% package going right now, and a big ticket 5% play in Japanese baseball loaded by Tokyo Brandon right this moment. So you can head on over there and get that now. So I'm going to throw it your way, Trig, for your best bet. Let's get your thoughts. And Cat might be out of the bag, but this is a 4% play that you have for the folks. Adam Trigger, what's your best bet on Asian baseball today?
Yeah, so real quick, before I get into my best bet, I just want to say that Kaiwoom Lotte, that's in a dome. And if that does get played, as long as there's not logistical issues with the stadium, that game will be played. And I do have a pretty strong take on Kaiwoom there. I think Lotte is still missing players. And then, of course, Dan Straley hasn't been very good in the States. I don't think he's going to be very good in Korea. And Woojin An is excellent. So, Kaiwoo might be pretty expensive there, like minus 170, minus 180. But as long as that game gets played, I think you could easily, lay the juice and bet Kaiwoo tomorrow. I think it's a very good bet. And the only reason I want to throw that one out is because I want to give something actionable. My best bet for tomorrow is the Kia Tigers minus 105. Looking at the forecast, I'd say we have a 50-50 chance to get this one in. But also, if you look at the extended forecast, Kia might not play many games this week. And I think that's going to allow them to basically use their starting pitching as relievers if they need to. And really the only issue right now with Kia is their bullpen depth, because this offense is one of the best in the league. And they got Socrates Brito, their import slugger, back, who's having a tremendous season. He's back now as of last week and in the lineup. So in my opinion here, you're getting a full strength Kia lineup. You're getting, a comparable starter in Pannone, who can go toe-to-toe with Albert Suarez. And given the fact that Kia can use some of their starters in relief, looking at that forecast and knowing they probably won't get 5 games in this week, I think it gives Kia a much stronger bullpen. So Kia minus 105, I think that's a wrong team favored type scenario as it is. I don't think that there's any scenario where Samsung should be favored over Kia right now, because I have Samsung power rated the worst team in this league. So Kia Tigers minus 105, and hopefully the rain holds off for us, because I do think they get the W in the first game and any game that gets played in that Kia Samsung series.
We love to have a WTF wrong team favored line. And yeah, I'm shocked you went Kia Tigers on the best bet. You were shouting Kia from the rooftops in our series breakdown segment. And Brandon, you were just kind of breaking down in your series breakdown why you think there could be some potential runs stacking up for Hiroshima coming up in this series and in this game. So best bet time for you, I think, ties into that perfectly. And remind people what you have up on WagerTalk.com for this evening.
Yeah, did I get cut off there? What's going on? I was like talking to myself, and I look up in the screen.
They're not used to us being on Tuesday, Brandon. We messed everything up by coming on Tuesday.
I think it's the weather. Maybe some lightning strikes or something, Brandon. But regardless what happens with weather, you still have a 5%er up that people can get right this moment for just $9, and you have a free best bet for the folks.
Yes, I have a 5% play out right now, and that's a first 5 inning money line play in Japanese baseball. And let me add to what Adam was saying about the Kiwoom Lotte game. I was going to make this my best bet, but with all the rain and stuff, I'd rather give out a best bet that's for sure going to get played. But let me give out one more play. If this game is played, I'm all over Kiwoom in this game because, look, I mean, I'll keep the time limited because I have another game I'm going to get to. But yeah, Dan Straley got blown up versus Kiwoom in 2021. He gave up 3 earned, 4 earned, and 5 earned in 3 starts against Kiwoom. He'll probably get blown up again today. And An Woo-jing, one of my favorite Kiwoom, one of my favorite Korean pitchers, in Korea. I mean, he's awesome. He got blown up for 8 runs in 1 game, but besides that, he's got a game score of 0.00201. I mean, he's a great pitcher. So I'm all over Kiwoom in that game. Let me get to my best bet. I don't know how much you heard me breaking down the series earlier, but all I'm going to look at is overs in the Hiroshima Carp and Yakult Swallows series. Hiroshima's hitting a little bit better than Yakult right now. Yakult's been shut out a couple games. There seemed to be a little cold since they got over the virus outbreak since the All-Star break. So my best bet here is going to be Hiroshima Carp over 3.5 today. They're facing a terrible pitcher. His name is Hoshi. He's got a FIP of 4.79. He's got a WHIP of 1.67. I think Hiroshima is going to jump all over him, and Yakult's bullpen is not really that good either. So even though they're at home, and if they're winning, they won't bat in the 9th inning. But even so, I like Hiroshima Carp over 3.5 in this game tonight. So that's my best bet for the show.
Team total going over in that Yakult and Hiroshima game in Japanese baseball action that is not being threatened by the weather. Kia Tigers
Correct.
on the money line, only minus 105 for our guy Adam Trigger. Free best bets for you. One of those a 4% play from Trig. So go and grab those now. You can also grab a 3-pack of 4%ers from Trig tonight, all in one package, and a 5%er from our man Tokyo Brandon, just $9. Boys, that does it for us. A little Tuesday edition, which means we get to be back together even sooner. We'll be back on Thursday for Asian Baseball Today. And until then, for Adam Trigger, for Tokyo Brandon, I'm Dan Alexander, and we'll see you in 2 days.
Did you know that from 2017 to 2020, WagerTalk charged $795 for a season of either college football or NFL? Well, we know how important our season-long customers are, and we want to increase the amount of money you save by committing a season-long package. While most of our competitors continue to raise their prices, we are doing the exact opposite. We've lowered our price for both the NFL season and the college football season to only $5.99 each. But through Sunday, August 14th, we are offering an early bird special, saving you an additional $100, making your NFL or college football season only $4.99. That's under $23 per week. Make sure to take advantage of the early bird prices before midnight, Sunday, August 14th, as they will return to the still low price of $5.99 per sport per season. You know the NFL preseason is already underway, and the college football season kicks off Saturday, August 27th. There is no coupon needed and no limit to the number of packages you can buy. Just head to your favorite handicappers page and take advantage today.